Unseasonably warm temperatures for late September, a moisture-laden system bringing beneficial rains to areas that need it across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and a tropical system to watch are all the three top highlights in today's weather forecast. Welcome back, everyone, to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this Friday, September 20th, 2024, and I hope everybody's having a great week out there so far and entering into the weekend. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button down below as we are quickly approaching 100,000 subscribers on the channel. You want to help out, simply just press the subscribe button down there as well. Make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button, especially if you like today's weather forecast. Also leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll always get to those after the video. What you're seeing here is your geopotential height. What this shows is a ridge of high pressure across the southern United States, and that's going to be pumping in a lot of our unseasonably warm temperatures for late September standards, and you can see well above normal temperature anomalies in the central and eastern U.S. and also especially up there into eastern Canada, into parts of Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec. We are up to 32 degrees above average for this time of year, whereas the western third of Canada and the U.S., we are below average for this time of year, almost 30 degrees below average across those areas. So we do have heat headlines across the Sooner State of Oklahoma, one county here in northwest Texas, and a few counties from Fort Smith, Arkansas toward Little Rock, where we actually do have those heat advisories in those orange shaded colors. The pink up here into eastern Wyoming and southwestern South Dakota, that is red flag warnings where we have dry soil and some gustier winds that is creating some fire weather concerns there today. Looking at high temperatures this afternoon, we got a large reservoir of 80 and 90 degree temperatures across the central and eastern U.S. this afternoon. 100 degrees is your high today in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 102 in Wichita Falls, 98 in Oklahoma City, and 95 from Fort Smith, Arkansas to Little Rock this afternoon. When you factor in the moisture, there is some of it out there. Heat index values will be approaching 105, if not 110 degrees Fahrenheit across those areas of the Sooner State of Oklahoma, the Lone Star State of Texas, or over here into Arkansas, Louisiana as well. And then looking at the storm reports that did come in from yesterday, we were talking about a storm system that was occluding into Canada, bringing a trailing cold front across the upper Midwest and into the Central Plains. It did end up producing a couple of tornadoes. We had 4 tornado reports up there in northeast Minnesota, several hail reports in and around the Twin Cities region, down toward Rochester, Minnesota, and just north of Des Moines. Also a couple rogue wind and hail reports down there in places like Missouri, Kansas, and northern Oklahoma yesterday as well. Well, we have more of the same potentially today, maybe a lower echelon day of severe weather, but still we have 3 separate areas we're watching for that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk, one up here into Montana, northwest North Dakota, that's more so into Canada. Then we have one from Omaha, Kansas City, all the way back here toward portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle. And then from southwestern lower Michigan, from Grand Rapids down toward Indianapolis, down here into the Mount Vernon, Illinois area, and maybe even southeastern Missouri, we have that marginal risk of severe storms today. Mainly for wind and hail, the tornado threat is much lower today than it was yesterday. So here we go this afternoon. Notice the storm coverage this afternoon is nearly non-existent across portions of that part of the country, and we see that storm coverage remain very scattered, if not isolated, as we go into the evening hours. So notice not everybody will be seeing storms. I would say 20% of us that are in that marginal risk areas today will see storm activity, and 1 or 2 of those could be severe. And then as we lose the daytime heating, we're going to lose the coverage and intensity of those storms after midnight into your early Saturday morning time frame. We're not really going to be seeing much in the way of heavy rainfall with this system, so flash flooding is not going to be an issue, as these storms are going to be kind of just popping up for a few hours and then dwindling, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch in some areas to see more concentrated storm activity from lower Michigan into Indiana, southern Illinois, and then back toward the foothills region of Missouri. But other than that, we're really not seeing that much rainfall through the next 24 hours. Heading into the weekend, it's still warm across the eastern U.S., cooler across the west, and some of that cooler air will be trickling into the Great Plains later on in the weekend, especially for Sunday. Here are your high temperatures Saturday afternoon. Notice we're back into the 80s, 90s, and nearing the triple-digit mark across the southern plains again Saturday afternoon. Look at the very sharp gradient in our temperatures. We're at 88 there in Omaha, back to the west, Lincoln, Nebraska, for example, at 78, and even the 60s for highs up here into the Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming, Saturday afternoon. That temperature gradient gets stronger as we go into Sunday. Look at that, 69 in Chicago, but 86 in St. Louis, or better yet, look at this, 92 in Wichita Falls, Texas, near the Red River, 57 in Amarillo in the Panhandle there. So it's going to be a major temperature difference, and what's driving that is we have a low pressure trough that's down here in the Four Corners region. As we go into Saturday, that's going to start to scoop up that moisture and move it further to the east into the plains and Midwest as we go into Sunday. And look at those precipitable water values for the weekend, nearing 3 inches, the climatological maxes for some of these areas for this time of year, for late September standards, and even up toward the Great Lakes there, like Lake Huron, Lake Erie. Some of these areas could be seeing those precipitable water values up over 3 inches for Monday into Tuesday as well, and that's going to be ringing out in the form of mostly liquid precipitation, rainfall, as we go into Saturday, starting off here back into the Four Corners region as that low develops. Some of that precipitation getting into the mid-Missouri Valley, especially later on in the day on Saturday, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. As we go into Sunday, more elongated area precipitation, literally from the Denver area all the way to Chicago, and most of this will be rainfall, but the higher elevations, that you blink, you miss it over here outside of Denver, could be seeing some snow showers, and it could be adding up, accumulating snow in those higher elevations of the Rockies. Then that moisture moves toward the Illinois Valley on Monday, and then toward the eastern Great Lakes and southeast Canada on Tuesday early next week, and even some lingering moisture back here, the areas that need it, into Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and even back into Texas on Tuesday as well. This rainfall will be adding up in a big way, and beneficial rains as well. We could be seeing rainfall amounts between 1 and 3 inches across portions there of Colorado, Nebraska, into portions of Kansas, the Hawkeye state of Iowa here, Missouri, the land of Lincoln here in Illinois. That stretches over into Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and even parts there of the mid-Atlantic states as well, like western New York, western and central Pennsylvania, West Virginia. I know you folks over here desperately need the rain. We're going to get that, but later on in the weekend, but especially early next week. And then here's the snowfall map, mainly the Colorado Rockies here in central and western Colorado. We could be seeing areas over a foot of snow possible during that 4-day period. Now let's turn over to the tropical weather update. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is still painting 3 investigative areas to watch over the next 7 days. These 2 out here that are in the yellow have a very low probability of developing, more like a 20% chance, and are really kind of fish storms. What we're going to focus on is the area of concern that has a slightly greater chance of developing near the Yucatan Peninsula, as a 40% chance over the next week, and it is in an area we have to watch. Thermodynamically, the water temperatures here are very supportive. If we have a system develop, this could rapidly intensify, so we need to watch this closely, and because of the proximity of the system to Mexico, to the United States, to Cuba, to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Central America, a lot of areas of landmass here that could be impacted by this system. So let's look at this. The EPS ensemble guidance. This is ensemble data, and it makes up for all the errors that there could occur with this system. Some ensembles have this as a pretty strong system, starting off as a tropical storm on Wednesday next week on the 25th. Some actually keep it as a subtropical system, maybe a tropical depression of sorts, or just kind of a weak tropical system at that. As we go into Friday, a week from today, next Friday, September 27th, look at the spread of the ensembles, literally from the western Bahamas all the way to the coast of Mexico. That's why we don't know until a low pressure system develops where this system will go, how strong it will be because of the land interaction, will it be over water or anything like that. So we will keep you covered on this. No need to panic. We'll have plenty of time to watch this through the weekend and early next week, and we bet you'll be doing that for you right here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest videos, live streams on all things weather. Make sure to like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below. It definitely goes a long way to help out, and I definitely appreciate it. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll always get to those after the video, and I hope everyone has a terrific and wonderful rest of their Friday out there.